In today's video, we're going to talk about units that you must have in Update 3 of All-Star Tower Defense X. So without further ado, let's get started because this update, in my opinion, is one of the more better updates and more interesting updates of ASTDX. So yeah, let's get started. By the way, if you guys don't know already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because by liking and subscribing, before we get to 100k subscribers, you get to officially be part of the OG sub of AB Plays. And I genuinely do appreciate every single last member of this community that watches and supports every single thing I post. I appreciate every single last one of you, and I try to reply and appreciate all of your comments and all of your views. So subscribe and be part of our OG community. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to say that I will be adding units that are from previous updates, and this is simply because the units from previous updates are just really good, and they are really useful in this update, particularly because of just how the update is made. So the trial is where, you know, the more important unit is, the most important unit is. I kind of leaked who the number one unit that is going to be in this video, but you do need some of these other units in order to do those trials much easier. So the video says top 4, but I will be doing a honorable mention. So for honorable mention, we have Goku, Super Saiyan God Goku, as he is a red unit. So if you don't have him yet, or if you don't have him ascended or evolved, try and evolve him out because he is pretty useful in this update when you're trying to clear out the Act 2 stage, which is the best stage to farm Frieza. And then the other one after that is going to be units that are obtainable from the Summer Box. The Summer Box units are units that are just no longer obtainable anymore, which is why I don't want to be making them part of this video. Essentially, they were obtainable if you contributed in the last update, which was the summer update. So if you contributed in that update and got stuff from that update, then you will be able to get summer boxes or whatever summer it is, and they can drop Enel and Ippo. Now, Enel is a hella powerful unit who can do what Kilawa does, but a lot worse. So basically, Enel is a worse Kilawa, and Ippo is genuinely an insane DPS unit. And if Ippo was obtainable in this update and is not, you know, limited to the last update summer box, you would genuinely be in top 3 or top 4 of this list. But he is no longer obtainable right now. He's only obtainable if you contributed in the last update, which I think some people did not. So he is only gonna be an honorable mention unit. To add to that, ASTD is going to be the last one in the honorable mention, and this is because ASTD is incredibly powerful when you want to stun the units in the trials. And again, I am considering how useful these units are in the trial, which is the hardest stage. Really useful when you're trying to beat the trial, which is pretty hard. So yeah, ASTD is pretty useful for stalling the bosses while you try and kill them with your other units. So ASTD is going to be the last unit from the honorable mention. Then now we get to start in the top 4 most important units in this list, or in this update specifically. So before I say who the top 4 is going to be, I want to mention that I will be giving plus points to those units who are from this update. So even if, let's say for example, this unit is a lot better than that unit, if that unit is from this update, I'll be ranking him higher despite, you know, this other unit being better than him. So for top 4, we are going to have, in my opinion, Kilawa. Now, Kilawa is, again, not from this update, but is incredibly useful for the update in general. Now, the reason why is because he is a full AoE unit, and the reason why I'm bringing him here is because he's really good for stunning the enemies, for stalling the enemies, and also dealing damage to the enemies. His full AoE capability will allow him to mow down a bunch of enemies in trials. Not just in trials, but also I believe also in what is this? The Trunks mission. You can really use Kilawa there to stun the enemies, and it is pretty good. And also you can use Kilawa to mow down enemies because of his ability. So he's really good in trials. I use him a lot in trials because his range and his full AoE capability is just incredibly good. So for that reason, Kilawa is going to be at top 4. But again, he is going to be better than the unit that's going to be at top 2. I'm putting him at top 4 because he's not from this update. So I think it's not fair to put him at top 2 if he's not even the best, if he's not even from this update particularly. But Kilawa is incredibly useful for everything. Not in this update only, but even in the previous update. And I think even in future updates, Kilawa is going to be incredibly useful. And number 3, we have Zeke. Now, Zeke is ranked higher than Kilawa, and this is because Zeke is, in my opinion, better in terms of trials. Now, Zeke is really good in the trials and also in the Trunks mission. Zeke is better because of his damage and also because of his range. Zeke can cover multiple paths in the trials. So if you're trying to do the trial solo, I think Zeke is going to be important because he's a hybrid, so he can hit area enemies, and he can also hit 2 paths because of just how long his range is. So Zeke is important for trials because from most of the trial solo guides that I've seen, Zeke is always used in them, and this is because Zeke is really, really good with his range. That is why he is ranked higher than Kilawa, when in my opinion, Kilawa is better than Zeke. Or actually, I think Zeke is better than Kilawa overall still, but Zeke is pretty good, and he does deserve to be top 3. The reason why he's not top 2 or even top 1 is because Zeke is not from this update. Again, he's not from this update, so he's not going to be ranked as high. But Zeke is hella good for pretty much clearing the content in this update. You know, Zeke is really good for both of those. Now, for number 2, we are going to be having Trunks. Now, the reason why Trunks is here, despite Trunks not really being better than Kilawa or Zeke, listen, I'm not saying Trunks is better than Kilawa or Zeke, okay? I'm not that delusional. But the reason why I think Trunks is here is simply because Future T is good for Act 3 of Trials, which is important. Act 3 of Trials, you need to do that if you want to clear, if you want to evolve Frieza. But apart from that, bro, Trunks is just good on his own because he can crit. He's basically the first crit unit in ASTDX, and every 4 attacks he does, he can do damage, 4 times his damage, which is really, really good. 4 times his damage, every 4 attacks is good, and his SP is pretty low. Now, he's also pretty cheap at only 950. The other units that are as cheap as him, that are, you know, that price, I don't think there's much units that are as cheap as him, that are as good as him. I think he is one of the best starters, and this is because the other units that are cheaper than him, like Kilawa and Goku, are all single targets, while he is a multi-target. You know, he doesn't have to be upgraded 3 times for him to actually be usable, because he is a multi-target already. You know, unlike, for example, if I place down Kilawa, he's a single target at placement, which is not really the best in my opinion. Also, not to mention, this unit is for placement, which means you can really maximize his ability with Genesis, in my opinion, because all 4 of them attacking, that means they will probably be doing crits left and right. So his range is not the best, but it does get better. It does get bigger every upgrade. It gets a lot bigger. But yeah. And also, you know, as you upgrade him, his upgrades does become a lot cheaper as well. Or sorry, some moves or SPA does become a lot faster. So as you can see right here, it becomes 3.14 seconds. Which means that if you keep upgrading him, I think he's going to start just critting every 4 seconds, I believe. Because I think his SPA at max is like... Oh, my bad. At his max upgrade, he's actually not going to be doing 4 seconds. At his max upgrade, his SPA is 4.39 from what I'm seeing right here. But I think 4.39 is pretty good because, again, he can crit. So if you have like 4 of him placed down, that would be really, really nice, honestly. But I don't think he's really, really good, especially if you compare him to Frieza. Now, Frieza is just absolutely broken, and the reason and how I'm gonna do this is I'm just gonna pull up the video of Sync, which is a close friend of mine. Okay, Sync, if you're watching this video, don't you dare tell people that you're not a close friend of me. You're a close friend, okay? Alright, so here we have the Unbound Frieza Showcase All-Star. And again, he has multiple transformations. But and he also has multiple AoE. He can attack 2 paths or two areas at once, which is absolutely broken. And he also becomes a summoner. Now, his summoner is interesting because, as you can see right here, he starts summoning. As you guys can see right there, there's a summon that kind of like goes around the map and then just starts doing attacks like that. So the summon is not like how other units work, that you know, it's not like how other units work where you summon something that just goes in the path, but he summons this unit that just starts circling his AoE. So that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. This unit is just hella broken, bro. I don't have any words for this unit because it's just so broken. 15.5k DPS, 130,000 damage if you're seeing it right there. is absolutely crazy. 130k damage, bro. That's diabolical. That's all I have to say. 130k damage, man. This unit is crazy. And also, he can attack like multiple spots at once. He has a summoner that, you know, can teleport. Bro, this unit is just broken. There's no other way to describe what this unit is but broken, okay? By the way, subscribe to Zeke. Alright, subscribe, like this video, subscribe to him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to like and subscribe, because this video took me 10 minutes to make. You guys are probably gonna say this video took a lot of effort, but no, this video took me like 10 minutes to record and probably will take me 5 minutes to edit. So yeah, subscribe because it took me a little effort to make this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.